Criminals accessing the phone. This time you have to access the phone with Bluetooth and no connectivity. Continuing. This is the first time I'm opening this because yesterday, if you remember right, I did it, right? Not the day in the day before, yesterday when I did it. Remember I said there was some weird dust in my hand? This is covered in that dust. So this is what Miji Merda did. The day that I was there in front, they found this. And they covered that in this material, whatever the fuck this is. Remember that I mentioned that today earlier and didn't even know about this? They covered that in this. So we, all of us, would have no place to be protected from the cold. That was Gelson's intention. That's why he was up to the other day. And that was why today you saw nothing happen despite the fact that the thing stayed here the entire day, which, by the way, that's what I'm emphasizing. He made a huge deal because of half an hour. Because of half a fucking hour at 8 or 6 to 8 degrees. They're on of this place. Celsius. Outside. And nobody ever comes here that early in the morning, period. And nothing is visible from the outside. And he made a huge deal as for why this is all about. Right? The day that I slept here, he witnessed, and I can guarantee you that he did, in the camera, someone coming here to assault me in the middle of the night. And also, those clothes in here, right? They're gonna stay here eternally. No, you're not even accusing me of this or other things you saw being said there, including in the back about things that I never touched as well, is a big deal. Because it's in the front, right? What do you think is more relevant? The possibility that someone would walk all over there and spray a fucking box, or a cart, or a bag full of stuff, or a bunch of clothes in front of the place as if some beggar just lives there, right? Oh, start to connect the dots, huh? But they think that they are genius. So again, I was not mentioning that before because I didn't want to say the quiet part loud. In the context of this, which happened there, as I was there, and someone came to assault me, likely the same criminal, or same criminals, who come to assault me at night. I want to point out one thing else, though. Notice how that child, Silvana Gutierrez 139, at Chip seeing it, immediately hid away. Again, I want to point out, there's a dog there. She didn't hide from the dog. She stayed on top as the dog was there, as you can see in the video. He hid of the child. She hid from the child. Now, I propose to you, the Chip is a couple weeks old, and it was even less than that by the time when you saw me. So, how the fuck do you think that a couple weeks old kitten, this is going to YouTube, and stay in public until I pass that line, or listen to Chip and season, would know, would cause her to be so terrified that she was immediately crouching and started shaking. Right? And then the child didn't react to that, as you can hear in the audio, as they do every time they get caught doing a crime, they react to it, as if that makes it less likely, rather than more likely that they get involved in that. So, you remember the criminals that accused Silvana Gutierrez 139? It's very likely that they would have been the ones causing those things from the get-go. And they came here to assault me. Again, as I said, that's why I addressed them by name at that place. I just want to point out this super they're pretty much a lot here. And on top of that, and yeah, by the way, I have no idea what this is supposed to mean. I know the in the building is fine, and Chip is fine. And my things are all here. They're all here. So, that was it. That was the first time I opened this. And this thing is covered on that dust. No, it's not my hand, but the thing itself. And this is very likely the crime that happened that night. But I don't want to lose the other criminal there from sight. Because again, unlike most days, this is a bike, you can stop in a gas station, anywhere else. In the rain, this thing here, pretty relevant. Provided some context, good. So, that's essentially what I've been talking about. As of for the, again, it is actually rain. Show you the rain. that this is how much rain there is out there. Some interesting context of the guy who's doing that smoke. No, actually, I'm gonna actually mention that to Joseph tomorrow. I want to see his reaction to it, and I can provide that to you. Oh, by the way, everyone's really out the camera. The lights are never off. So as I said, you'll be watching those things happen as much as you watch the rest. Dumpster country? You got it? Now that's where we... Up a little bit. RCC 5E16, but not Rain starting to pick up again. Get an RCC 5E16. And tomorrow I'd love to see Kelson's reactions there. And again, I'm gonna wait there to see that on record. But as you can see, there is a lot of... Oh, you cannot quite see the rain yet. It's because of angle. There's a lot of rain. So... also all the context, right? Because all the things they would accuse me of, much like you've seen other things you've seen them all, which they think is a huge deal, all it provides is any real victim crimes, even implied, it doesn't need to be real, a lot of context. Plus, as you've seen, again, the Lord, and it's not just the rain, it's also the wind, and also pay close attention to where the smoke actually blows, because it provides a very good pathway through the wind, as well as the fact that the drugs that come in here flow from there, and you can clearly notice how they get in. But in general, as I said before, for the war crimes, what best can be said than that? Back to the, as I was pointing out. And again, you notice when I arrived, so there's also the flashlights. That person should knows for sure that the documenting the camera on, the lights on a minute ago, and not only that one, but mine. So I couldn't care less about the clear appearance of them being involved in this, of conformity with Brazilian law of all things. But as I said, first time touching this and discovering some weird dust. Now, when did I told to you about weird dust before and how correlation I had with the rest, right? So, as I said, didn't sleep with this, didn't sleep in here, none of the sort. I was outside, and then all of a sudden, the same bag that was closed the entire time, that was closed since that day, and it was open. I noticed they were put underneath me. That day they put the shit underneath me, it was behind me. They put some cow shit underneath me, right? And I proposed this sort of behavior as well today. Again, but it doesn't matter. Just imagine later if you think on the real victim crimes, right? Also the possibilities that they mention about other things. I'm very clear about the drugs that they throw on me and what they are. But if at any point they say they think something about me, well, again, just providing some context. This is designed for a purpose, and I'm quite sure we're going to figure out the purpose later. But again, for criminals who have been used to at least pretend to be outraged, they're going to realize what actual outrage feels like from real human beings. So, also, by the way, and it seems to be, at least, that's a pretty big deal that they have as this culture that they would say a couple things. Amongst those things likely would be that I'm aware and I know related to what those criminals coming here. Right now you see this, much like I mentioned before, directly mentioned and then published of me denouncing some weird here, and again I'm gonna see tomorrow as well, because it's gonna be something very interesting to see. As I said, that just for the reaction, whatever it is going to be. I'm not gonna talk about this until we actually see it. I'm just pointing that out. Also, that's one of the places that should used to be like. Okay. But let's just say that later, this is also my place, an important role. Including as far as the favors, including the very favor of staying here, because apparently everybody else can just stroll in and stay there. Now, again, that doesn't mean anything or might change my behavior, which they think it will, but it does mean some golden context for you as a response to the. So basically, it's a trump card to be played in a special occasion. And we can leave it at that. Okay? But I just want to point it out, the entire behavior, and again, this is going to be online in a minute, very clear for you to understand. So, I heard a whistle. A very clear whistle, as I was trying to fix that for us. Okay? So, just a bit then. Oh, it should be indiscreet enough. Oh, by the way, I can also notice a lot of rain still falling quite a lot. Same as before. And I just wanted to point out the little law for piss and shit as far as the smoke and everything else, because you can clearly see the direction of the wind. Não. Precisa de alguma coisa? Boa noite, amigo. Você precisa de alguma coisa? Domingo, você precisa de alguma coisa?
Não.
É que eu vou dormir aqui. Você...
Pode dormir, tá bom.
Mas você não tem nenhum outro... assim, tem coisa aberta, tem um outro lugar. Você precisa ficar assim, aqui, exatamente aqui?
Só parei pra filmar.
Não, eu sei, não tem... Assim, só que é o único lugar que eu tenho que deitar, é o que eu tô falando.
Não vou escapar dormir não, pra estar de boa.
Não, é que aqui também tem um cheiro bastante forte, assim, aqui. Eu preciso estar falando, qualquer outro lugar. É, assim, cigarro aqui.
Ah, tá. Mas é aberto aqui, ó. Tá ventando.
Não, eu sei, por isso que eu tô falando, não tem nenhum outro lugar que... É só porque eu não tenho como ir pra outro lugar.
Deixa eu sair pra ficar de boa. Quer comer? Tá com fome?
Comigo? Não, não. Eu tenho que deitar.
Você tá daqui, é?
Não. I think he was saying it was anchors about the wind was not blowing. Wait, no, it's quite for them. After 3, 5, 16. Literally searching for a place to be, for the smoke to follow me, as you could see. So, yeah. I was probably expecting to find, but why? First off, chances of winning from a guy who bees all the time, and secondly, why? That won't show anything to you. This does. They showcase to anyone who sees it. Not just you. See, about the tempering, I was not checking for tempering information, but again, who choose to come here? Again, you can go to anywhere, okay, probably not smoking a gas station, but stop anywhere else. As I said, remember I said that Gelson removed every single cover from here? Yeah, I was in the rain. I'm in the rain now. There's rain falling. And if you're close to the ground, it's even more. In fact, I'm going to show you the light on this thing. That's the way where I was reaching. I can feel it in my legs as well. Okay? So, that is piss and shit. Those are the real victims of this crime for what they did. And as I said, things like this. Notice how I'm publishing everything that I'm saying, including what I said there, because, yeah, as I pointed out, what would it net me to have a different posture? Well, this showcases its intentions very clearly. I'm not under the scrutiny. The more criminals are going to be on the defendant side. So, by all means, pay close attention to that and see the whole affair, right? Now, unlike the previous ones, has some very specific objectives. For instance, as I said, there's water there, and he was willing to be there in the rain to get me to be in the rain. Now, what are you saying that it was here for? Because it's in the dark? It's in front of a camera. 2, in fact. Technically 3. So, Now, what does that prove? Much like the cat over there, what does that prove about me? That I want to see a situation like this with someone entering this place that's uncomfortable enough, and I point that out and document that, and I put that on YouTube, and I'm going to talk vegetarian, I'm going to talk to Gelson tomorrow. Just mention, again, there's not much to mention, pretty much just mention passage, right? There's not much you can do. I'm just saying, I would mention most of this for the reaction, and I'm just saying that to you, just after I realized that while I was asleep. So, let's imagine later they want to say that somehow the war crimes done to me that led me to live like this, at least temporarily, consensual. Well, I'm not interested in person should being convinced. Do you believe that? All the ideas, I'm just reacting. Now, clearly, you probably expected me to be reacting in a much different fashion, but again, as I proposed to you, first off, we distinguish that the smell coming from the air and the drugs coming from the air don't come from anyone there, because whatever blows there blows directly to the back, as you saw that, right? And often enough, when you're there and you smell something come out and there's nobody here, so you know it's from the outside. So that much is also helpful. That's a practical one. It did wet the lower part of my pants. That wasn't that wet before. That much was a gain. So as I said, this is a concrete objective gain for person share and part of the crime. As I said, the crime is perfect with those minor things. You know, like what? Domestic violence, bullying, if just about every form of abuse, they tend to be like this. The appearance of minor collections, minor things. Again, it's why these crimes are taken so seriously, because it's not just because you don't have a massive major event, which in this case you also have with the tortures, the great abuses, right? But you don't need them. You can establish that already. Do this, and that happens on a daily basis on every court throughout everywhere. I'm not even particularly that, I don't know. I'm just laying that to you, okay? Should at this point don't fully understand what the purpose of that was. Only now I'm feeling the irritation drugs being thrown in there. Notoriously. I was actually hoping that they were going to throw stronger drugs over there, more noticeable drugs, to claim that that guy was the one. You say it sounds stupid as fuck, you can literally split the direction of smoke, and perhaps if the direction of smoke was different, they would have. I don't know. For intents and purposes, I didn't notice much. I was noticing more now with my head itching than I was noticing then. Perhaps that is some correlation, but I mean, it takes some time, I suppose, for the thing to metabolize. I did smell smoke and things coming from the outside, and lighter drugs that they always throw, because they always throwing something, right? I noticed that when they didn't, and then I realized that they were just not throwing the sensitive ones, they were throwing the proper narcotics, I guess, the psychological things. And you notice what I said there, how uncomfortable I would ever be to go inside knowing there's someone out here. So it's that too. So I have the full picture, don't know how that beneficiates them, but for what it's worth, very much one of those things documented as quickly as possible, so I'll make the actual commentary later. Meanwhile, the whole thing is pretty much disclosed. Like another one here, just to connect yet another layer. But I don't know how I'm gonna make it to stick there. And the one outside. And then we're done with this. Again, stopping us from getting inside, stopping the baby from getting inside. Just that, for absolutely no reason. Again, as you see. Because again, me by foot can walk enough to get out of the rain. Like you saw me going to the bus stop over there, walking to the gas station to the other side. And you saw some guy in a motor vehicle able to just go wherever they want, just be here for absolutely no reason. Again, go to the faces of this time. Possibly. So it's because I want one inside. See if you feel, man. Look at this one. Let's put over here. Also, is even anybody's guess what the purpose of they even, again, the more direct purposes, they usually have those secondary things, some things that I speculated, but don't even know what the direct purpose for that was. I mean, what is the real goal to be accomplished? At least the primary one. As I said, the proof is a bunch of things that I want to do. Even though they interrupted something earlier, I prefer to just handle business, if you know what I mean. Handle this already, so. Yeah. Speed up as much.